An easement is a legal right to use another person's land for a specific purpose. Easements play a crucial role in property law by granting rights of access or use while maintaining ownership by the landowner. An easement is a non-possessory interest in land that grants the holder the right to use or restrict the use of another person's property for a specific purpose. The property burdened by the easement is known as the servient estate, and the property benefiting from the easement is called the dominant estate. Key characteristics of easements. Non-possessory. Easements grant usage rights, but do not transfer ownership or exclusive possession. Affirmative or negative. Easements can either allow specific actions, affirmative, or restrict certain activities, negative. Appurtenant or engross. Easements can benefit adjacent property, appurtenant, or benefit an individual or entity regardless of property ownership, engross. Types of easements. 1. Easements appurtenant definition. These easements benefit a particular piece of land, the dominant estate, and run with the land. Example: a driveway easement allowing access to a landlocked property through a neighbor's land. 2. Easements engross definition. These easements benefit an individual or entity rather than a specific piece of land. Example: a utility company's right to place power lines across multiple properties. 3. Express easements definition, created explicitly through written agreements, deeds, or legal documents. Example: a written agreement granting a right-of-way easement for access purposes. 4. Implied easements definition, arise by implication from the circumstances rather than through explicit agreements. Types: easement by necessity, created when property access is essential and no other access route exists. Easement by prior use, established when there is a long-standing, apparent, and continuous use of one property that benefits another. 5. Prescriptive easements definition, acquired through continuous, open, and adverse use of another's property over a statutory period, often similar to adverse possession. Example: a pathway used by the public for many years, granting access to a beach. 6. Negative easements. Definition: restrict the property owner from taking certain actions that would interfere with the easement holder's rights. Example: an easement prohibiting the construction of buildings that would block a neighbor's view. Creation of easements. 1. By agreement express grant. Written document or deed explicitly granting the easement from one party to another. Express reservation. When a property owner subdivides their land and reserves an easement for their own benefit. 2. By necessity, essential access. Implied when property needs access through another's land due to no existing alternative routes. 3. By prescription adverse use, continuous, open, and hostile use over a statutory period, granting the user a legal easement. 4. By implication, prior use. When a use benefiting one part of a property is apparent and continuous, and the property is subsequently divided. 5. By estoppel equitable principles. When the property owner's actions justifiably lead another to believe that they have an easement, and they rely on this belief to their detriment. Termination of easements. 1. By agreement. Mutual release. Both parties can agree to terminate the easement, typically through a written release. 2. By merger unity of ownership. When the dominant and servient estates come under common ownership, the easement is extinguished. 3. By abandonment, non-use, and intent. If the easement holder manifests an intention to abandon the easement and ceases its use. 4. By prescription adverse action. If the servient estate owner openly and continuously obstructs the easement, preventing its use for the statutory period. 5. By expiration limited duration. Some easements are created for a specific period and terminate upon expiration. Significance of easements in property law access and use. Easements ensure necessary access and usage rights, particularly for landlocked properties. Utility installation. Facilitate the installation and maintenance of utilities, including water, electricity, and gas lines. Land value. Easements can affect property values positively by providing essential access, or negatively by imposing usage restrictions. Legal disputes. Easements can lead to legal disputes over scope, usage rights, and maintenance responsibilities.